Oh, Zackerzoinks! Today, guys, we'll be reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Hey! What do you think you're doing in my spot? Oh, hey, hang on, buddy. Who are you? Listen here, buddy. You're the old render. I'm the new one. You're like a year old, so I swear I will bury you alive and kill you myself. And I don't care if this is a kid-friendly channel. Okay, first of all, you do not need to crash out like that. And second, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So can you elaborate? Because this is why your dad left. This is why you don't want to watch. Okay, that's it. We're not. We're just still watching right now. Alright, now that that's over, we can get started on Sonic the Hedgehog 2 review. Here is a quick summary of the plot. After the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic, Tom, and Maddie begin to settle down in Green Hills. Sonic is eager to prove to Tom that he has what it takes to be a hero. It comes to the test of Dr. Robotnik returning with Knuckles the Echidna in search of a mysterious emerald known as the Master Emerald that contains ultimate power and that could destroy the world. Sonic teams up with Tails and together they embark on a globe-trotting journey to find the Master Emerald before it falls into the wrong hands. Alright, I'm not gonna lie on this one. This plot is a major step up to Sonic the Hedgehog 1. And this time, we didn't have a road trip. Oh my gosh, we actually moved on? Who would have knew? Alright, it wasn't their fault. It was morally just Paramount is not giving them the creativity. But in this movie, they some reason give it to them now. But moving on, I'm gonna rate this plot as a 7 out of 10. This plot actually felt like an actual Sonic plot, believe it or not. And this whole movie felt like an actual Sonic movie and not just a road trip. In terms of with the story, I think they did a really good job with it. And there was a tons of references, but not as much as Sonic 3. My only problem with it is that it shows too much humans and not enough Sonic. Which I already said in the last video, this continues in the sequel. But let's talk about a character that was hyped up for this movie, and no, we're not talking about movie 3 with Shadow. Knuckles the Echidna. This character throughout this movie was basically hyped up through the whole thing. And probably was the only one out of the new characters got a backstory. And the movie tried to stay true to Knuckles' backstory, Knuckles as a character. They combined Boom Knuckles and with the old and serious Knuckles together, and this actually works. This is probably one of the best Knuckles that we ever received in years, and is very well written. This trend continues throughout in the Knuckles show and Sonic 3, which is actually a really good sign. And also, Knuckles is one of my favorite characters because of his strength and interesting backstory. I especially love how Knuckles was written in here, and I love it kind of a little bit more than what Frontiers was going with Knuckles there. Am I glazing Knuckles way too much? Yes, definitely. But it's not enough because Knuckles in here was actually written pretty good, and again, he's one of my favorite characters besides some Tails and Shadow. I can't really say I have too much complaints of the way they're written Knuckles in the movies, because it's really and truly really good. Now let's kind of move on from Knuckles and glaze a little bit on the next new character on this movie. Sonic's main best friend and sidekick, Miles Tails Prower. This movie really did focus on Sonic and Tails' relationship, and I actually loved how they written my boy Tails. Tails doesn't really have a backstory in the movie universe, only that he left his village to go help Sonic, and absolutely is actually glazing him. As much as I loved how they actually written Tails here, my only complaint is that I don't want to hear Tails almost every 5 seconds go like, "Only Sonic the Hedgehog can do this!" Like, that isn't really funny to me, or that isn't really something I like to see from Tails. But I do love how Tails actually sees Sonic as an older brother. I know it's not said, but it's shown here. And my second problem is that Tails depends a little bit too much on Sonic in the second movie, which I know he does do this in the games too, but come on, it's the movie universe. Otherwise, I don't really have a problem with how Tails is written here. Just those two things. So for character writing here, we'll be given an 8 out of 10. And I'm not going to be reviewing Sonic or Eggman until the movie 3 review comes out. But anyways, what is that? Oh, okay. Apparently PRP actually made his video for this one. I know, shocking, right? Let's take a video listen to what he has to say.
Screw you up, did I?
Don't give a $500 tip to the housekeeper!
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's inappropriate! That's inexcusable! That I don't forgive! What were you thinking?
Oh boy, guess what? We're doing Cars 2. I have so much to say about this movie. So, without further ado, we will start the Cars 2 review. Wait, what do you mean this is a Sonic 2 review? What? God damn! Alright, animation. I'm a man of animation, and the animation here is, it's okay. Like, you can see some parts where you can see it and you'll say, yeah, that is animated. Like, some parts, like, I'm just gonna put one up on the screen right now. Yeah, that. And there's this part. It clips through! It clips through his quill! Boy, I hope somebody got fired for that blunder. Okay, to be honest with you guys, that is better than what Marvel was doing during this time. Anyways, that's my opinion about the animation. A good day! Elijah, you better let me do Cars 2 review soon after.
Alright, I'm back from taking BRP to the pound. I think he needed to be fixed or something. Anyways, let's continue. Let's talk about the comedy of this movie. I generally feel like that the comedy of this movie isn't all up there for me, as I don't really get most of the jokes, and some of them is just that they're funny, but just not as funny. But supposedly I don't really have much to say about the comedy because that isn't really the main attraction of this whole movie. But Knuckles did crack me up, so that was that. So the comedy is getting a 6 out of 10. This is just my general opinion. If you guys think that Sonic 2 was more funnier than the first one, then please let me know, so I can tell you to make your own review, you lazy. But anyway, let's talk about something else. For the action of this movie, though, is going to be getting a 7 out of 10, just because in the trailers they kept showing off all of the fights and it wasn't really a big surprise. And also the fact that the humans stole most of the spotlight than actually Sonic. The fight scenes like Sonic vs. Knuckles is actually one of the best fights I have seen out of at least Sonic and Knuckles. That's really that. The Death Egg robot could have actually been seen as some potential to improve on the action of this movie, but they just didn't go for it. All we pretty much got of the Death Egg robot is basically just him dancing. But let's move on to the special effects and cinematography. Now, just let me say that they improved a lot on the cinematography and special effects. The only thing that's holding it back is the Sonic renders, because they kind of look a little bit undone and unfinished. You know how a game looks kind of unpolished? Kind of like that. And some of the animations kind of clip through the model itself. So it's getting a 7 out of 10, and I'm mixing animation here as well because I'll be talking about that in a sec. The general thoughts on the animation, there's not really clearly enough of it, and some of it just kind of looks a little bit undone, again with the clipping through the character models and stuff like that. I wouldn't be too surprised if someone came out and say that this movie was a little bit rushed, but not as Sonic Movie 3. But next we'll be talking about the creative elements. In my personal opinion, they actually been a little bit more creative than movie 1 did. I just love how they explained like the Master Emerald is basically a combined emerald with all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds. Then at the end, make Sonic transform with all the 7 Chaos Emeralds is something I love very greatly. And I'm sorry if this is spoilers to you, but this is YouTube.com and you came on here just to get spoiled, so who cares? They found a way to get the tornado into the movie, which is actually really great because I love the tornado. The tornado was not even called a tornado, it was basically just a regular plane that was used for, I believe, Randolph and whatever her name is, wedding. There are other creative elements I have not said here. That's because you just have to watch the movie yourself and judge. But I know you guys came here for spoilers, but I'm not really going to give you any spoilers right now because I don't feel like it. Also, the movie is out on digital and DVD, so you can go right ahead and go get the DVD. But that's it for creative elements. Here is a quick rating of it. A 6 out of 10 the creative elements are getting for this movie. You could probably expect another major jump in movie 3. Now let's talk about music. They actually did pretty good, and it's kind of a little bit of a step up for music here. It is shown to me that now they understand that music and soundtrack tells a story. But I'm gonna say, comparing it to the Mario movie, that it's okay. They could have done a little bit more better. Maybe amplify it to be more Sonic-like. But that's really it in my personal opinion. Like I said about movie 1's review, the soundtrack in this movie is fine. I wouldn't change that much about it. Just maybe Sonic-fy that hard! But the general rating of this movie will be getting a 7 out of 10, only because the music actually tells a story here. And yet again, I'm just gonna say it's fine, nothing else. Moving on. Wait, what? That's it? Oh, well, I guess that's it. Now let's talk about the overall rating of this movie. The movie is actually pretty cool in my opinion. There's just too much men! There's too much men and not enough women! And also there's just too much humans. And also the build-up of movie 2 does a lot more better than movie 3, I don't care what you guys say. And also it's pretty lovable. And like I said, it's already out right now for digital and DVD. If you wish to watch it, buy it! Don't think twice if you're a Sonic collector or a hardcore Sonic fan. Buy it! Anyways, moving on, the overall rating will be getting an 8 to 9 out of 10. But if you need an exact, then 8.9. The movie is pretty lovable and you should watch it with your family, because that's what I did. I watched it in theaters 3 times. It was just that good. But here's the total of ratings. But that's all the time we have for today, so if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe, and stay. Hey! Who posted my news on Twitter? Aw, shit! Elijah, I should have known it's you. You're getting a whooping like how Eggman got in movie 3. Ooh, really? Okay, just for that, you're going back in the dungeon. Wait, no! I don't want to go back! Alright, come on, let's go! Alright, now that he's gone, stay blue and see you later.